How are you, everyone? I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you for our social studies lesson, whereby we are going to discuss about the Organization of African Unity, in short, OAU. But before I just do that, I would like to take this opportunity to remind you on what you are supposed to do in order to curb the spreading of this deadly virus that is corona. That kindly remain at home. But if you are forced by circumstances to leave your home, then always put on your mask. Avoid congested areas, maintain social distance, avoid shaking people's hands, hugging people. Wash your hands thoroughly using soap and water. And if you have the sanitizer, the better. If you feel like coughing, please fold your arm like that. You can cough or sneeze there. If you don't have, if you have the toilet paper, then the better. Above all, let us continue praying to our God, because I believe our God is faithful and is going to see us through in this. Having said that, now allow me to go to the topic of the day. I've said we are going to discuss about the Organization of African Unity, OAU, which later on changed to African Union, AU, later on. But I wish to start with the letter, that is Organization of African Unity. The Organization of African Unity, OAU, was established on 25th May 1963. The headquarters of OAU were put at Addis Ababa, and up to today, we are still having the headquarters there with this Organization of African Union. So the headquarters of OAU were placed at, in Addis Ababa, that is in Ethiopia. This organization was formed by countries that had gained independence, and by the time, by the formation of this organization, we only had 32 independent countries that had that participated in the formation of this organization. The first chairman of OAU was Haile Selassie of Ethiopia, and the meeting to establish this organization was held at Addis Ababa, and it was attended by the following heads of state who were present. That is Julius Nyerere of Tanganyika, we had Abdel Nasser of Egypt, we had Dr. Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana, we had Haile Selassie of Ethiopia, we had Ben Bella of Algeria, we had Siaka Stephen of Sierra Leone, and Leopold Sedar Senghor of Senegal. So those were the heads of state that were founder members of this organization, that is OAU. Now, the members of OAU, all African independent states apart from Morocco, are members of OAU, present-day AU. Morocco withdrew its membership in 1983 following OAU's decision to recognize the Polisario movement. Remember, the Polisario movement was a movement that was fighting to establish Western Sahara as an independent state, and OAU supported that. So Morocco did not feel well and decided to withdraw from this organization. Allow me to talk about the functions of OAU. One of the functions of OAU was to promote the unity of African states. Two, to promote the cooperation of the African states. Three, to defend the independence and integrity of African states. Also, another function, the fourth one, is to work for international peace as laid down in the UN Charter. Another function, the fifth function of OAU was to promote cooperation among the African states and the rest of the world. Sixth, improve standards of living of the people of Africa. And seven, to eliminate all forms of colonialism in Africa. Elimination of all forms of colonialism in Africa. Allow me to talk about the achievements of OAU. One of the achievements of OAU was it helped to promote economic development among the member states. Two, it assisted many countries of Africa to achieve independence. 3, it helped to stop civil war in some countries of Africa. 4th, it helped to solve border dispute in some African countries. For example, between Ethiopia and Eritrea, and between Morocco and Algeria. 5th, it helped to promote trade among the African states. And 6th, OAU led to campaign against the apartheid rule that was used in South Africa. So these were the achievements of OAU. My dear pupils, now allow me to talk about problems that were faced by OAU. One of the problems was lack of adequate capital to run the organization. Now, this organization depends on donations from member countries, and sometimes countries do not remit as required. So that was a challenge also. Another challenge was lack of a standing army to bring peace in countries that were at war. Remember, again, OAU depends on donation. Member countries are giving army soldiers to maybe to enforce their maybe resolutions. 3, political instability due to civil war in some countries and a change in government brought new leadership into power. Some of these leaders were not committed to the OAU's resolutions. Another problem was strong ties of some countries to their former colonial masters hindering the progress of this organization. Another problem faced by OAU was increased number of refugees from warring countries. These were difficult issues for OAU to effectively deal with. Another problem, the 6th one, is OAU inability to enforce its resolution on member states since it does not interfere with the internal matters of a given country. Another problem, the 7th one, is foreign intervention was required sometimes when OAU was unable to deal with poverty, hunger in the continent. The OAU did not put much efforts to increase food production among the member countries. Another problem is that some member countries had different political ideas and beliefs which made it difficult to reach an agreement on various issues. So those are the problems that were faced by OAU, that is the Organization of African Unity. My dear pupils, now allow me to talk about another very important organization, that is AU, that is African Union. And as I mentioned earlier, OAU changed its name to AU. The Organization of African Unity was transformed into African Union in July 2002. It was officially launched in Durban, that is in South Africa. The idea to form this formation, that is African Union, came from the then president of Libya, the late President Colonel Muammar Gaddafi. Is the one who came up with the idea of transforming OAU to AU. The first chairman of AU was somebody called Thabo Mbeki, who was a former president of South Africa. The first Secretary General of AU was Amara Essi of Cote d'Ivoire. The headquarters of AU are still based in Addis Ababa, that is in Ethiopia. Allow me, my dear pupils, now to talk about the objectives of African Union, the main reason why this union was formed. 1 was to promote human rights in the continent, to promote human rights in the continent. 2, to promote democracy and good governance in Africa. 3, to promote trade among the African states. 4, to establish an African central bank that will provide loans to its members. 5th, to promote peace and stability in the continent of Africa. 6th, to eradicate poverty in Africa. 7th, to promote economic development among member states in Africa. The African Union discourages members from relying on foreign countries. That is, they promote that Africans should depend on their own struggle. That is to promote economic development among the member states in Africa Union and discourage members from relying on foreign intervention. 8, to establish an African Court of Justice. To establish an African Court of Justice that will deal with cases emanating from the continent of Africa. 9, to establish an African peacekeeping force to bring peace in any part of Africa. 10th, to strengthen and support African Development Plan, what you call the NEPAD, the New Partnership for African Development, that is NEPAD. 11, to establish a single currency of Africa. And lastly, to suppress corruption as a vice on the continent. My dear pupils, we have reached at the end of our lesson today, whereby we have discussed about the two organizations, that is the Organization of African Unity and the African Union. And as I said, that OAU was established in 1963, but changed its name to African Union in 2002. I wish to request that you can replay this video as many times as you can in order to acquaint yourself with facts about these two organizations that we have just discussed. Something else is that I would like to request that you go to our YouTube, and our YouTube channel is Peter Namasaka. Just go to Peter YouTube and write the name Peter Namasaka, and you will get lessons ranging from mathematics, English, Kiswahili, social studies, science, CRE. All subjects have been taken care of there. You can also subscribe, and the main reason why you should subscribe is that anytime we post a new lesson, you'll always get a notification to this fact. So my dear pupils, continue working hard at home and remain focused. Otherwise, goodbye.